Hello and welcome to Turf Talk, Kentucky Derby Works Edition. I'm joined by clocker Gary Young. And Gary, what were your thoughts with last day of works for the Dawn of the Downs? What were your thoughts this morning on Mendelssohn?
Came on the track with three other Coolmore horses, jogged once around the all the way back to the 7/8 pole. He did get a little hot up on his neck and in his kidneys, but I think the most important part about that respect is it's a little humid this morning. I mean, if horses had their druthers, they train every morning in 35-degree weather, right? But they don't get that this time of year. So, but the most important part to me was as his morning exercise and time on the track went on, the sweat went away and he got less and less lathered up, and he carries himself with a lot of presence. I think he knows he's special, and you know, he's up against a very stern test, but I think, you know, he's a good horse, and it's in one of the most anticipated derbies we've seen in a while. He is a real major question mark and intriguing factor of the interesting derby.
Yeah, it was his first time on the track. He shipped in 2 days ago. He had to spend 48 hours in quarantine. Came out, walked once around the track with his stablemates, and then jogged a lap. Can you tell? I mean, did it look like he was like the track? I mean, I know he's raced primarily on turf. Last race was his first dirt start. Did you see anything in that regard as far as like him taking to the surface?
He looked fine. I mean, he didn't really stretch his legs or do enough to really get a real good gauge on that. You know, we probably won't really get a real good judge of that until they open the doors on Saturday. Right. I mean, I'm sure tomorrow they might let him do a little bit more, but you know, I think it's the ultimate test will be when they open the doors on Saturday and how he performs against this quality field. All
right, so we saw pretty much all the participants for the Derby and Oaks on the track today. Of course, Justify, the big favorite, was out there, made another good impression by all accounts that I've heard. And wondering what you thought about Justify and the other workers this morning.
I thought Justify looked like Adonis out there. I mean, he is a very imposing looking horse. I've seen nothing since he came to town to make me change my opinion about him, and I realize he's a little light on experience, but I'm not wavering in my confidence on this horse.
All right, so let's get right to it. Gary Young's Kentucky Derby pick. I want to get a pick from you, a long shot selection, and another horse of interest that you might use if you're betting trifectas, superfectas, exotic wagers like that.
My pick is Justify. My long shot is Hofburg, although as much attention as he's getting lately, I don't know how much of a long shot he'll be, but actually he'll probably be 15-1 at least. And I think Good Magic could definitely also come around and get part of the trifecta.
You like what you've seen from Good Magic?
Yes, yeah. He's a very professional, efficient moving horse, and if this race goes like I think it might, where if Justify does open up coming around the turn, the horses that are like in the second group behind him, not necessarily in the first, they might be the ones that come and pick the pieces up for second and third. Now that's all.
And that's where Good Magic theoretically will be.
And Hofburg.
And Hofburg.
And okay. Hofburg, yeah. I mean, I think Justify is going to be a very, very tough horse to beat. And I think the horses that go to chasing after him, if and when he puts away Promises Fulfilled going around the far turn, I think they might get a little discouraged too.
One question I had, if Promises Fulfilled, say, doesn't break and Justify does break, any chance Justify maybe tries to leave wire to wire?
You know, he didn't. He did it just fine in the Santa Anita Derby, and that's with a loose shoe. So I don't think that wouldn't upset Mike or Bob at all if that's the scenario. I think, you know, I haven't talked to them, but I think they're kind of planning on the different scenario where, like in his second race when he laid second to a horse, he got a little dirt in his face.
Made that brilliant move on the turn.
I mean, he went around those horses very, very quickly and very easily.
All right, and turning our attention to the Kentucky Oaks. Tomorrow afternoon, the run for the Lilies. Who are you going with in that race, Gary?
I'm going to go with Monomoy Girl, but I have seen very positive signals from Coach Rocks this week. I don't know why she took 7 races to break her maiden, but her last 2 races have been very, very impressive.
Maiden and then a stakes win.
And if you punch up the replay of her last stakes win, she got stopped fairly significantly at the 3/8 pole in that race. Picked herself up and just came down to win impressively. So. You know, I'm generally not a favorite bettor, but I'm going to go with Justify and Monomoy Girl this weekend. But in Hofburg and Coach Rocks, I think maybe there's some long shot possibilities in there, if not to win, to make the exacta pay good.
All right, well, we have really enjoyed your time on Turf Talk. It's been a pleasure for our viewers. Gary Young, your plans after you're going back to California, right?
I'm flying out of here Sunday morning.
All right, well, thanks so much to Gary for all his time, and we hope you've enjoyed Turf Talk Kentucky Derby Works Edition.